So, Sakina, we got you up there. Let's talk trending topics, shall we? Because there's a lot to talk about, and I think the number one trending topic at the moment is the Senate debate. So that was yesterday, right? So we saw all of the parliamentarians coming today, bringing issues up, and they'll be doing the same today as well. This was yesterday, today, and then of course the president is expected to reply tomorrow.
That's right, Leanne, and of course responding to what was raised in the State of the Nation address last Thursday, and interesting responses, some parties agreeing, some disagreeing, some agreeing on some parts of what was said and others not, and it's been quite interesting to listen to. We'll hear more today, and of course then the President will respond to all of that, but there were some very interesting issues raised, like for example the deployment of the Army to assist as force multipliers for the police in parts of the Western Cape, Gauteng, and I believe Minister Firoz Kachalia has now indicated that the Eastern Cape will also be included in that deployment. That was an interesting one. Of course, international relations and some of the seismic shifts that we've seen, and again, some parties agreeing with the stance that the government has adopted, some disagreeing, and then of course the issue of privatization in the sense of public-private partnerships, and of course what the president had indicated, and some parties feeling that maybe a bit much of that.
Yeah, indeed, and there's some humorous ones as well, Sakina. I was just looking at some of them while you were speaking, and this is from, I don't know, just some of them saying, Gayton McKenzie's debate based on the State of the Nation address in summary. Penny Mojadina, you look beautiful in red. You look so very nice. President, your tie is very nice. Is this what we all voted for? And then the EFF as well, another tweet saying the EFF asked the chairperson of Parliament whether it's parliamentary for the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, to stand before the House and say absolutely nothing about the department he's leading. So, of course, the humour was not missing, and that's a fact. Okay, so, SK, the next one is Jesse Jackson. And, of course, this was a very sad story that came out yesterday. Civil rights icon dying, 84 years old, people weighing in on this conversation. Really a towering figure in the U.S. civil rights movement, close associate of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., helping shifting black political influence within the Democratic Party. What we're hearing is he died peacefully, and news outlets, of course, are publishing tributes to his legacy, and that's all over social media at the moment.
That's right, Leanne. But of course, Reverend Jackson's civil rights, activism has spread well across the world, well beyond the United States. And we here in South Africa, remember, he first came here, I think, after the death of Steve Biko, and then subsequently came to South Africa a few more times. And he's someone that also, was very vocal about what was happening to South Africans under apartheid. And as I say, towering figure, and one who will be sorely missed.
Yeah, indeed. I remember having the pleasure of interviewing him a few years back when he came to South Africa, and a really charming man. He certainly was. So a great towering figure that will be, of course, laid to rest, and we'll hear all about that and no doubt cover that very extensively. The next one is Juventus. My gosh, what a night of football it was last night, and I've been hanging on to Stacey's sports bulletins, looking at what's been going on. I mean, a 5-2 loss, Juventus against Galatasaray, and it really was quite a controversial mess with Juventus executives banned and fined for their conduct towards officials after that controversial red card incident in a prior league game. So what's going on?
A fiery night in Istanbul, and Galatasaray, of course, walking away 5-2 victors. A bit of a drubbing, and I must say, yeah, it was pretty much even Stevens after the first half, but then in the second half, and of course because of that red card, Galatasaray just came out very strong. And yeah, I suppose we are sore losers. At least I can count myself among those, and sometimes things do deteriorate. What can I say? It's a passionate game, Leanne, and Juve didn't take it all too well, but yeah, drubbing there by Galatasaray in Istanbul. Istanbul.
It certainly is a passionate game, but I'll tell you what, this wasn't a very nice part of it. And the next and the last trending topic is, of course, Vinny. That's Vinicius Jr. And what happened at last night's match. I mean, this is again one of the worst sides of football, and that is the issue of racism. And that's come up once again when Real Madrid's UEFA Champions League match in Lisbon, with Vinny reporting a racial abuse comment from an opponent to the referee, prompting the activation of the anti-racism protocol. And that match just went into turmoil with a temporary halt, widespread social media reaction. Everybody is speaking about this one. And we were watching that and we saw the player put his shirt over his mouth as well. So you couldn't really see what he was saying, but the players heard what he was saying. And of course, this just went insane.
It was despicable, I must say, because and it was quite, sad, because Vinny had just scored a spectacular goal, and then just as the restart was about to happen, then he immediately, as he was about to take his position, then ran to the referee, something that Gianluca Prestiani would have said to him, and it was clear that something was said. Vinny was clearly upset, and then it kind of deteriorated on all fronts, and it was just a back and forth for a while there. But I think what was also, for me, totally tone deaf was that when Prestiani was eventually taken off, he got a standing ovation from the Benfica fans. What does that say? But I think the message here is there's no place for racism in sport or anywhere for that matter. And I've seen some of the videos of some of the Benfica fans making motions, and it's just despicable, and it's something that UEFA will have to address, and seriously so.
It's unacceptable, and what a phenomenal goal, and that's what should be celebrated, not what we're talking about this morning. Anyway, SK, thank you weighing in on those trending topics. So